hope everybody joined now. May I welcome you to my presentation today about how to structure a modern DataOps team. I will tell you a secret later on during the presentation, but that's for later actually. Maybe a few things about me. I'm Manuel from the Walter Group, currently building the DataOps team there. Actually, we started 2 years ago. And I will tell you something about that journey and, of course, what you can do better than me. So what is actually DataOps? DataOps is not really tied to a particular technology, architecture, tool, or just a second, sorry. So, yeah, language or framework. Tools, techniques, and also team structures that support DataOps, all of them promote collaboration, security, orchestration, quality, service, access, ease of use. So it has to be really easy to use data and to use it quickly. So you have to be able to get a quick access to some data that you need. As you can see, it's actually all about people. And this is something I'm going to tell you on the next slides in detail. So yeah, how to start actually. If you look onto all the various kinds of roles that a DataOps team should actually have, you quite quickly realize that it's not enough to have a bunch of data engineers, maybe some infrastructure engineers, data scientists, data analysts, cloud architects, business analysts. So at the very beginning, people often are quite lost when building a DataOps team, when forming the team, to really be able, to kick off the whole topic. And now I'm going to tell you how you could actually have a good start for the whole stuff. So maybe some of you know the book Team Topologies from Matthew and Manuel. It describes the different kind of teams that you nowadays see in various companies. And from what I learned is it's the best to start as an enabling team for the DataOps team. So you have to ensure to get really the data enthusiasts in your company into that team right from the start. And would also be good to include at least one experienced software engineer. I will tell you about it later, why that's really important. And then extend it by additional data engineers, platform engineers, etc. As per your needs. Of course, every company is different. Every team structure, IT department is different. So yeah, why enabling team? So what's the purpose of an enabling team? The enabling teams actually spend some time in other teams and try to inject a new mindset in those teams. So try to help them, try to understand them. What are they actually expecting? What do you want to achieve with the whole DataOps initiative at all? That means the focus of an enabling team is changing. It's not that they start and then over the next course of, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they're doing the same thing in the same team. From the very beginning, the DataOps team should actually start and kick off as an enabling team and spend some time in the various teams. Of course, you could scale that depending on how much speed you want to have on that whole initiative, how many data enthusiasts you have at all, and how far you're actually with your vision. So do you really know how to develop further the whole topic? I think it's the best to start with a small enabling team, kick off, start with the first development team, maybe an important domain. And yeah, maybe I can tell you a little bit more about the role of DataOps engineers. So maybe the one or the other of you already stumbled across DataOps engineers as a role definition. So the question is now, what's actually a DataOps engineer? In a perfect world, that would be someone with data science experience, data science skill set, but also a lot of skills in distributed systems engineering. The reality looks quite different to my point of view. So in fact, what you really get is often one person mainly being a data scientist and who developed into software development or systems engineer, or the other way around, which is also quite often. You have a systems engineer or software engineer who has a really good experience in programming, experience as a platform engineer, and who wants to develop and has, of course, a high interest into the whole data science topic. So he has a good understanding about machine learning, model training, already did some Python coding, of course, as well, is of good benefit. So I would say a person that combines in a certain amount those two skills could be called a DataOps engineer. In fact, really getting one person knowing both of the topics really to the same amount, so really to a high skill level, it's really the expectation. And what you really get in reality is quite different. So you have different people inside your DataOps team, inside this core team, and every one of them needs to develop in a certain direction to be able to really leverage the whole stuff. Okay. Of course, another important topic is the data-driven mindset. You need to ensure the data gets citizenship in your company. You heard that probably a few times already in today's presentations. By simply creating a DataOps team, and that's the secret that I will tell you today, you will fail. At the end, you need a group of people that is really going to change the way of thinking about data in the overall organization. What I learned is that it's really important, maybe also to start with kind of an ambassador, somebody who is really convincing management, convincing really top level management that your vision for creating a data-driven organization is the correct one, that things and restructuring within the teams, within your digitalization efforts, that things are required to really be fast on data. And maybe to give you some example, what happened really in the past quite a few times, I guess in every company, is people were simply asking for data access. And the biggest problem is if you just get a connection string to a database, maybe somebody gives you some SQL queries without further explanation, and then you try on your own, digging into the data, figuring out some insights, getting more data, using the data in some way in your machine learning pipelines, in your reports, etc. So a lot of business logic was actually created, completely decentralized, and the various teams actually probably implemented the same business logic a couple of times, maybe even more times, and all of them in quite a different way. So it's really important to collaborate, especially with the development teams. And what I'm going to show you now, how to do that, could be quite a funny topic. For me, the key concept is empathy and collaboration. That's definitely key. So what often happens is somebody tells you, hey, just an example, I need the data in the cloud now. Maybe you should ask, okay, what's actually your goal? You should understand what he wants to achieve with the data in the cloud. Often when the cloud topic comes, especially in big corporate organizations, it's not easy. You sometimes have a cloud architect. You have somebody who is preventing the upload of data into the cloud. You have to, of course, be safe on some customer data. GDPR is a big topic. So you really have to be able to go into all those teams and have those important but also difficult discussions. I know it's not easy, but that's why empathy is really key. So you have to collaborate with all the different teams. You have to understand their needs. You have to understand their concerns, but also the other way around. You have to be able to explain why you need those things. What are you going to do with them? At the end, at least it was my experience, most of the time, if the people understand why we need such things, for example, some data in a cloud product, maybe there is no real alternative for an on-prem system. If everything runs smooth, people will get happy. They can finally use data, use it quickly, elaborate on that data, dig into it deeper, do some analysis, and then figure out, okay, is it something we need to further develop into? We need maybe more data sets to really get to a concrete product, or is it something we just used for a short period of time and now we know more about it and that's it? So at the end, if you're open to collaborate with other teams, to talk to them, to hold discussions, also difficult discussions, at the end you see everything is possible. So when it comes down to data products, I think also data products is something that you heard quite a lot of times today. To my point of view, if you start with some kind of DataOps initiative, soon you realize that you are, to a certain amount, not talking about just data and providing data access to a data science team or to a business intelligence team or to a data analyst. At the end, you need to ensure that all of those various teams are operating on the same data. They have to be able to rely on the data and really to believe that the data is consistent. What happens quite often nowadays is that a data science team produces some statistics or numbers. Another team is doing the same actually, generating some reports. And for example, the total amount of customers in a given data science statistic or outcome is 1.1 million. And for the BI team or data analyst, he gets to some, I don't know, 1.2 million. So it's different. And then they start to discuss with each other, okay, where is the bug? Who did it differently? Where did you take the data from? Where did you take the data from? And that's where you really start your journey with thinking about data products. And to my point of view, nowadays, data products are features that are even of a higher value than any user interface experience. And at the end, popularity of data products is, for me at least, a way of measuring the successful adoption of DataOps in your company. To give you a small example, just think about, for example, the new customers that registered over the past month and booked a new load. For me, I'm from the Walter Group. We are a transportation company. And we would think about a data product, for example, as all new customers in the past month that booked already a load transportation. That's definitely nothing that you would show to any user in a user interface. We're living in 2021 now, and I think users and employees in any of the companies, they should not look into lists, and especially for that kind of feature, new customers over the past month that booked already one load at least. Nobody would look at that list constantly. That's definitely something for machine-to-machine communication. That's something for a algorithm, for another process, for really helping the user at the end with some decisions. And that's also the rise of the data product owner. So what do I mean by data product owner? Treating data as a product means you have to ensure quality and consistency over your whole landscape. Consumers interacting with your data need to be sure it's reliable. That also means that to a certain amount for your data products, the same concepts as for usual software development departments become true. So you need to measure quality. You need to be able to really release versions of a new data product. As you see in the picture on the right side, a given delivery team, let's call it delivery team A, that same team should ensure the release and the delivery of operational features. Of course, the various user interfaces, web apps, mobile apps, micro frontends, etc. But also the data products should come from the same delivery team. Of course, inside that team, you can, depending on the size and complexity, you can have dedicated data product developers at the end. But it's really important to start with that team. They should be capable of developing their data products. At the top, you see a product owner. And of course, for some, let's say, huger domains, some complex domains, it makes sense having a separate data product owner. But that data product owner can actually be the same person. It all depends on the team size. It, of course, depends on the skill set, on the interests of that product owner, if he has some technical background at the end, of course. And yeah, what I forgot to mention, of course, the data catalog plays a big role in all that, but that's not the topic of today. And as you can see, it quite takes a lot of things to ensure that a DataOps team can do its work. So what are now the usual tasks and capabilities of a DataOps team? What's the team doing actually? On the right side, you see some of them. Of course, not all of them, but some of them that you stumble across today when you call yourself DataOps engineer. You need to establish and run a data catalog. You need to ensure that data science can do their work. Operationalize machine learning, review Python code, host various data visualizations, move beyond the data lake, and of course, ensure a good data mesh architecture, as we heard a lot of times today already. Everything with just one DataOps team? Of course not. Yeah. As I told you at the beginning, the secret is it's not just about creating a DataOps team. What I learned is a fully equipped data-driven company can structure their DataOps capabilities only if they adopt DataOps as the mindset across the whole landscape. So here's an example how you would actually implement various teams to really ensure a good DataOps strategy. For the complicated subsystem team, that's maybe something you would place an encryption library in. Then you have a data platform support team, which is an enabling team, as I explained at the very beginning. You have various data product teams, as we just heard. And of course, the important data platform team. So that was actually my presentation. Thanks for listening. And I'm sorry if I missed the questions in between of my talk. So I will now focus on maybe answering some of the questions. And I think we still have like 10 minutes left. So enough time to answer some questions. I see at the very beginning there were a few questions around the term DataOps and that it was not really understood by many, also in previous sessions or roundtables. So after my presentation, I hope that some of those questions got answered actually. As you know, or as you heard, it's not simply creating a team, a DataOps team that is focusing on some smaller tasks. It's more like really injecting the whole data-driven mindset in a company through DataOps. So we also feel that with the idea of, okay, just add a DataOps team, everything will be fine, and 2 years later we will be a data-driven organization. Of course, that's not going to work out. So you really need to start. I mean, I think the best start is really as an enabling team, and you have to have at least one person in that team who really understands DataOps. What's behind all that? What does DataOps mean for me? What does it mean for the company? Every company can have slightly different requirements, different needs, a different setup, of course. And if there is one person in this starting enabling team who can really kick it off, who can really convince management, and then with the team form a good structure to go into all the different teams and enable them in, for example, generating new data products, generating new insights, helping at the end, of course, data science, business intelligence team to get faster insights, to get a faster time to production when it comes down to, now I have a trained machine learning model. Now I'm sure it's stable enough. How can I bring the whole stuff to production? That's, of course, something that the DataOps team or the DataOps initiative should think about. But that's something really specific. So we would probably have a core team focusing on machine learning operationalization. See, Eric is asking about good blogs to read regarding DataOps. I'm happy to share some links afterwards, maybe on LinkedIn or also in the chat. I'll just send a list of good blogs and websites you could actually read, or even podcasts. The DataOps manifesto. Yeah, I'm not sure who created the DataOps manifesto website, but at least half a year ago, when I had a look at the DataOps manifesto website, it was a quite theoretical website telling you some points. It was trying to somehow copy the DevOps manifesto into the DataOps manifesto. To my point of view, it's better if you read on blogs, if you listen to podcasts, if you hear about other people's feedback, how they actually implemented DataOps in their company, and what actually was their failure, but also what was the success, what was the most successful initiative in a given company. So as the whole topic is quite new, I would really suggest just go out there, collaborate with other people, get in touch with other people who are actually trying to do the same. I'm now in that topic since 2.5 years almost. And yeah, it's constantly changing. I learn new stuff every day, and of course, we're trying to get better day to day. So let me check if there are any new questions. Okay, then thank you very much. It was really a pleasure to have the time to present the topic to all of you. And I hope the next time we will see each other in person, maybe on the next data summit. Hopefully it's not going to happen again online, but who knows, maybe we'll get used to it. See you, bye.